Okay, so for my fourth webinar in this small business management series right now, I want to talk a little bit about market sizing. I've pulled up the template that I've given everybody as the standard template to use for market sizing, and I went through this a little bit in class, but I feel like we didn't really quite get the details right, so I want to go over it again in this webinar. So I'm going to do one example here for consumer market sizing and another example for business-to-business market sizing. So, everything starts with figuring out what is the product that you're trying to do market sizing for. And in my strategy class, in my BA 490 capstone, you're trying to think of a new product or innovative product, a new market, the standard kinds of products and services that the company sells, but you're trying to do market sizing on something they're not doing right now. And then for small business management, it's usually pretty obvious based on what the project is, what is the market that you're trying to size. So first of all, decide what it is you're sizing. In this case, I've got some students in my small business management class right now working on a project to build more fan base for the Bakersfield Condors, our minor league hockey team in Bakersfield. So the example here, first of all, is for the Condors. And then the product or service is, in this case, tickets, concessions, souvenirs. We're looking at people to come to visit games. And the area is going to be Kern County. And based on conversations with the Condors, we know that we want to target, we actually want to target a younger fan base for the Condors. So this market sizing here, the original example, is based on me and other people like me, but I'm going to change this for the webinar here and do this for younger target customers. So first of all, you're going to decide what the product or service here is. You're going to decide the country, region, locality, and you're going to decide what the customer profile looks like. All of that stuff is not something you find online anywhere. That's something that you decide based on what the goals of the case analysis of the project are. So in this case, let's change this to single adult male. We can still stick with professionals, but let's actually go age 20 to 30 instead. And we're actually not going to be looking at 100 plus income level, but we're probably going to be looking at something more like, let's say, 20 to 50K. So first of all, we need to go out and get hard data assumptions. We're going to need the male population of Kern County. Then we're going to need to know how many of them are age 20 to 30 and how many of them earn 20 to 50K a year. So that's the first thing that we need to search for, hard data assumption-wise. So in order to find that information, we use a database called American Fact Finder. So I'm going to go ahead and bring us to the American Fact Finder page. So I've now brought up the Fact Finder page. Here's the address in case anybody can't find it. The link for this is in the PowerPoint that I did on market sizing in the Blackboard lecture slides. So we wanted to know Kern County, so we're going to type in Kern County, California, and hit go. And now we've got the overall data here. We want to know information about age, and actually the information about gender is also going to be in the age section here, even though it's not listed. So we'll go to age, and we're going to select this first report here age and sex, open that. And we'll see here we have total population numbers for the overall Kern County population, and then male and female. So our first number is right here, 440,712. So that number is going to go right here. That's actually the same as it was before. And there's two ways to footnote this. We can either type in the exact path that we followed to get to that report. So this would be American Community Survey, which is, or you can put in here actually. Technically what I did was go to American Fact Finder, and then I typed in Kern County. I went to the Age tab. I went to the 2014 American Community Survey, which, if you notice here, is, we'll start from the beginning again. Kern County, and then we clicked on age, and in gray letters actually lists the Census Bureau report that the data comes from. So we're going to want to put that in our footnote, and then we're going to put the actual report we used, which is age and sex. So that brings us back to where we were before. You could also go in and copy and paste this information right here, which is the actual number and title of the report. Either of those work fine for your footnote. So going back to the example again, 440,712 is what we put here. Now we need to go find the number of males in Kern County between 20 and 30 years old. So going back here, we've got 20 to 424 and 24 to 29. So we're actually going to want to add those two percentages together. So 20 to 24 is 8.5%. 25 to 29 is 8.1%. So together that's going to be 16.6%. So we'll go back in here, change this to 16.6%, age 20 to 30. And again, the footnote is the same information in this case. Now we need to go find how many of those 20 to 30-year-olds earn $20,000 to $50,000 a year. So that information is not going to be in the same table, so we're going to want to go back now. Actually, I think we can go to Table Viewer. No, we go to Community Facts rather than having to go all the way back and reinvent the wheel with the search again. So here we're looking for income levels, so we'll go down to the tab that says Income. Click on that. And sometimes you have to search around a little bit for which report you want. The Census Bureau has a lot of different types of reports, and the logic of what data is in what report is clear to the Census Bureau. It's not necessarily clear to anyone else in the world. So sometimes you have to search around. Sometimes you'll find the data you want in multiple reports. I know for a fact that the one we want here is income in the past 12 months, so we're going to click on that. And then we are looking at single males between 20 and 30, so you'll notice this is broken up into households with families, married couple families, and non-family households. So the single people are non-family households. So we wanted, I believed, 20 to 50K. So we've got, well, we're going to have to change that based on our data here. So let's do 25 to 50K. So 25 to 34 is 12.1% of the non-family households, and 35 to 49 is 12.8%. So together that is 24.9%, which is what we're going to put right here. And then we need to change this. 25 to 50,000, and we'll go up and change our assumption based on the data we can actually find. And that does it for our hard data assumptions. So the footnote you'll see here follows the same path, American Fact Finder, and then Kern County income in this case instead of age. We actually got that from the same gray title, and then income in the past 12 months is the report we used. Now, your anecdotal assumption is going to be based on in the small business class. It's going to be based on interviews you've done with friends, family, associates you know who have the same characteristics of the target market you're trying to talk to, and ask them what they normally would spend. In the case of your case analysis, you're really going to base this on any friend you know or your own personal experience of how much money you would spend. So let's just put a number in here for now and say that the average 20 to 30-year-old would spend $75. Well, maybe some people can't afford that much. We'll put 50 in here for the average spending for a night at a Condors game. And then that's your anecdotal assumption, does not need a footnote. The educated guess assumption is basically what market share you think you're going to get. So, you're basically, in this case, the Condors are competing with all other leisure entertainment options in Bakersfield. So not every adult male from 20 to 30 who earns $25,000 to $50,000 a year is going to go to a Condors game. So this is going to be off the top of your head, but I always think it's good to estimate relatively low on some of these things. So, excuse me, I went ahead and put 10% market share here. That's kind of a conservative number. So then the last thing we need to do is multiply all the numbers above together. So 16.6%. So the 440, 712 is the population of males. Then 16.6% are aged 20 to 30. 24.9% earn 20 to 50K. We're going to multiply that by $50 and 10%. And I need to go calculate what that is quick. And after the wonders of technology, where I can pause and start my webinars again as I'm recording them, that number is $91,081.95. So this is going to be $91,081.95 in potential revenue per game. And that's pretty much how you do market sizing for consumers. Now, if you want to do market sizing for businesses, and we'll stick with the Condors here, but instead of single game visit, we're going to put Condors in program full page advertising. Again, we're going to look at businesses in Kern County, but in this case, we're not looking at single adult males. We're looking at businesses, but we want to do separate sizings for different types of businesses. Not every kind of business in Kern County is going to want to advertise with the Condors, but some of them are. So let's assume, for example, we want to do a market sizing for clothing boutiques or clothing accessory stores in Kern County, and how many clothing accessory stores could the Condors go out and talk to about advertising in their programs. So in this case, we're going to type in clothing accessory stores, and then we need to figure out what the NAICS, North American Industrial Classification System, what that code is, because we need that code to be able to search for all businesses that are like that in Kern County. So we're going to delete that and put in here. In a second, we're going to put in the NAICS code. We need to go find out what it is first. So to find that, we need to go to the NAICS website. So you type in www.naics.com, go there, and you'll see a little button here that says Find Your NAICS Code. Click on that, and then you're going to type in here, clothing accessory, and we'll see what comes up. Well, it looks like nothing came up exactly for that. Unfortunately, you have to type in the exact words. So if that doesn't work, we'll just type in clothing and see what we get for clothing. So that brings up a bunch of things. This is basically manufacturing clothing. If we scroll down some more here, men's clothing stores, women's clothing stores, clothing accessory stores. There we go. So that number is 448150. So we'll go in here, 448150. Now we're going to want to go to a different website. In this case, this is again listed in my slides. I've updated them for everyone. You're going to want to go to the Census Bureau's Community Business Patterns database. So if we open that one up, it looks like this. You're going to scroll down on this page just slightly till you get to View Data and Tables, and you're going to select the area. In this case, we want to select California first. We'll click Go. And then within California, we're going to look for Kern County. So click Kern County and then click Go. And this shows us all of the businesses, the total number of employees, the total number of businesses, in this case it's called establishments, in each of the industries we could possibly want to look for. So these are actually listed according to the 2-digit NAICS code, and then if you want to get to the full 6-digit one, you have to click on Detail. So if we click on Detail there, this tells us all of the companies whose codes start with 44 in the Bakersfield, or in the Kern County area. So again, our number was 448150. So I'm going to scroll down until we get to 448. 448150. According to this, there are 7 clothing accessory stores in Kern County. Now, that doesn't count other clothing stores or family clothing stores, children's. There's a lot of other kind of stores, but if we're just talking about clothing accessory stores, it's 7. So the number we put in here is, so we're going to go to hard data assumptions now. Delete all of this, and we'll put in instead 7 clothing accessory stores in Kern County. So we're going to need to footnote this again. So unfortunately, unlike Word, it's a little bit different to put a footnote in here. So we actually need to put it in ourselves. So you're going to put the number of your footnote in and put it in brackets. And then you're going to need to right-click on it, go to Font, and we want to put that in superscript font. And then go ahead and delete that, put that, and then our footnote is not going to be American Fact Finder, it's going to be U.S. Census Bureau community business patterns database. And then we're going to say Kern County, California, and NAICS code 448150. We do not need a second footnote in the case of this example. So we'll get rid of that second one. Now, anecdotal assumptions in this case is not the price of a night at a game, but the price that it costs a business to advertise in a full-page ad in the Condors program. So it's hard to tell exactly how the Condors have their pricing for a program right now, but let's just assume that I have priced out that a full-page ad in the Condors program is $500. So in this case, we're going to assume a higher than 10% market share because there's not that many clothing accessory stores, but not all of them are going to advertise with the Condors. So let's split the difference and say assume 50% market share. So now this number becomes a little bit different. We're going to type in 7 times times $500 times 50%. And that is going to be, I think I can calculate this off the top of my head, 50% of 500 is 250, and 250 times 7 is 1,750. So basically, that would mean that if the Condors just targeted clothing accessory stores, there's not that many of them in Kern County, if they could charge $500 for a full-page ad in their program, and they could go out and get half of those clothing accessory stores, then they could make about $1,700 per game. Now, you can't actually get half of them because there's only 7. So, if it were 6, for example, that would be $1,500 in potential revenue for game. So, that's a kind of small number. After doing that market sizing, you may want to go back in and look at other types of clothing stores or add in additional industries, because obviously there's going to be all kinds of different businesses that are advertising the Condors program. You could eventually split this out by small, medium, large size businesses by using another database. There's a lot more complex things you can do for the market sizing, but the basic way to go get information about business-to-business market sizing is now described in this webinar. So that's it for webinar number 5. Coming up next is how to do patent and trademark searches.